Go ahead. Okay, wonderful. This is the Finance Committee meeting of Wednesday, August 27th. Welcome, everybody. And Tony, would you do a roll call, please?
Yes, I will. Michael Zaslow.
Here.
John Timmerman.
Yeah.
Les Rifkin. Regina Latore.
Here.
Richard Handelsman.
Present.
David Furness. Ruth Dries. Here. Cookie Courier. Joanne Critchon.
Here.
Paulette Burdick.
Here.
Laura Bedford. Joanne.
Here.
Tony. David Boaz.
Here.
I'm looking around the room. I don't see their names. Okay, Jerry and Bruce are not here. Stuart's not here. Patricia's not here. Fausto's here and Donald Foster's here. Okay, so you have 2, 3, 4 committee members absent, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 committee members here.
So we have a quorum.
Got a quorum.
That's good. That's good. Thank you all. Appreciate it. I take it you all got the extensive.
Yeah, very,
were
yeah.
sent along with the invitation.
Yeah.
In the printed, for those of you on the Zoom, the printed part of it, we only went for the first.
53.
No, we went for the first 20 some pages, 24 pages. Because they have, the rest of it is, as you saw, detail. I don't know if it was Donald, somebody was in my office yesterday and we talked about this and we were calling it the encyclopedia. Yeah, this is the encyclopedia. And
It's a reference book.
It's for those that come after us that will be able to see how we did what we did. And it wasn't just guesswork of what do you think's going to break this year, This is really a roadmap if anyone wants to follow it, or it's a way to just look at things for, how do we set next year up? What do we want to look at for projects and for going forward, prioritize and make sure that we don't have to do things on an emergency basis because they tend to be more expensive when you do them that way. Anyway, let me get back to the business part of the meeting. I hope everyone has had a chance to take a look at the minutes and
Motion to accept.
Ruth, thank you.
Second it.
Thank you, John. Is there any discussion of the minutes? Would anybody have any changes? Anyone want to add, take away, whatever? Not hearing no changes, I'm going to accept the minutes as presented. Thank you, Tony. So now I'm up to the part of what do you think?
What do you think?
The budget that you see, the proposed, but for those of us that were at the operations yesterday, go ahead, turn to the last page, I think the one that we printed should have $11.26. So start.
You mean the difference?
Increase.
Oh,
It'll be an increase.
oh, mine says 1265.
I apologize. The one that we sent had an error that we corrected this morning.
Oh, okay.
So you didn't get the
should
correct.
have-
Correct
Oh,
This
that's
one, it
this one.
should say,
Got it.
yeah. We're being very punchy. So this is sort of the 1165 is the first pass that we came up with, Chris and I, and the reserve study. We put this all together. And now it's up to the committee to look at it. Tell us, Chris and I, what you think.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I have a question for Chris.
Yes, sir.
Where's the ABDI maintenance on this contract, on this budget? What line is it under?
That would be under that's typically kept under computer maintenance. It's included under the monthly computer maintenance. That's second page.
Yeah, I see it. Okay. All right,
I see it. 26,200.
Chris, would that be 7605.1 or .2?
0.1. Point two is for the miscellaneous office components as far as like new computers, printers, things like that we have to purchase throughout the year.
So .1 is the Steve Hen bill and the ABDI bill.
Correct.
Got it. Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
On the, this last page, the budget vs estimate, the stuff that's in parentheses, does that mean we're short that? Budget vs estimate?
Yes,
On the
the
last
parentheses.
Mhm.
The parentheses do denote a negative number.
Okay. So is that's taken into consideration with the raise?
No, everything is.
Correct.
Okay. And I take it we're funding the reserves as per the study?
Yes. And that, the last page, you'll see the actual 628 contribution to reserves plus 130. So it amounts to 758,938. That, and it is, this is something that Chris and I were, Chris has pages and pages behind this that correspond to what you're looking at in the reserve study itself. If you go to the back part of that, the page 18, I'm sorry, 17 and 18, those pages get boiled down.
Got it.
So he's done, multiple sheets to get it to this year's part of that reserve study. It really, you get down into the weeds with this stuff.
Right, yeah.
Chris, what'd you call it? Your beautiful minds sheet?
Yes. Yes, it's just a bunch of rotating numbers in the air.
And if you look at it, it is on page 4. It is basically the summary of what they're recommending. The recommended 2026 funding. That's what kicks this all off. If you follow this as a roadmap going forward.
Well, that's.
So we were just ballparking it at $1 million. Well, it's less, we don't, according to the survey, 728, or whatever that number is, will be sufficient over the next 30 years to have us 100% funded
Wow.
at the end of 30 years. And doing all of the projects that it's talking about over those 30 years.
That's remarkable.
So it is a roadmap of things that you need to watch and look out for, and so that you don't say all of a sudden, oh, next year we're gonna have to rebuild the roof here. Or next year we've got to come up with millions of dollars for new roadways,
Assessment.
It gives you the opportunity to sort of bank some of that money too, because the estimate is that you're going to replace 25% of all the fences. You know how many, we've got a lot of fencing and it's never been replaced, a lot of it. Well, this gives you the money to replace 25% of it every year for 30 years. You're not going to do that.
No.
You're going to have some other disaster that, have a few dollars. And you'll account for it as you go along and put it in. This is a living document. It's not meant to be static.
Right.
It's meant to be done every year as a study of where are we going.
So if I can, so this, if this is the roadmap, and how often is this reevaluated to see what the progress is, checking in?
Once a year, at the end of the year, we will check in with the reserve study people. And review with them, Chris will review with them what we've done. What in my terms, in the working world, I call them capital projects. Where they're things, they're not operating, they're things that are lasting more than a year is what you usually look at as a capital project, capital improvements or whatever. Richard.
So the 628, is that a?
628 is the amount we need to use this as a roadmap going forward.
So that, is that a compromise between the 21 pages, 21 and 22? 21 starts with 628 for 2026, but then it escalates from 1,000,004. Is that the total that it?
Sorry, which page are we looking at?
21, the chart on page 21.
If you look at if you look at the numbers on page 23, it outlines the funding and the expenditures for each year. And that's more what we were going, we were going on that as far as the funding requirements and what was going to be expected to be paid out in the coming years.
I just wanted to make sure that in the year 2555, that it's still 100% funded.
I'm not worried.
Down line.
I'm not worried.
And a low risk, as it shows on that.
Right, yeah, that.
Or the low risk, the X is all the way up, we're way over, almost 190%.
Guessing to the good.
I know.
I mean, it's, when they looked at this, they were amazed, because
Right.
they said, there are no other properties that fund as well as
I
we.
know, that's the way I want it.
Right.
They all,
Don't believe those numbers.
no,
No,
these no.
yeah,
No, they're the best numbers we
they're the
got.
best numbers, but they're guessing.
Oh, yeah.
And
everything is-
if you go back a few years ago, we did the roads, it was $5 million. How
Mhm.
many years ago? 15 years ago? Okay. 5, 6 years ago, when the last estimate that we got to do the same paving was $15 million. So to say that they came up with this number and we discussed this with them, that they added a couple of $100,000 to the 5 million that we spent the first time.
Mhm.
You're dealing with blacktop fuel, goes up, goes down, whatever. So that 100,
Yes,
it's a guess. That's why I'm saying. There's,
yes,
if you take the roadway alone, it shows that out of the picture, it shows you got a lot of money. But if you have to do the roads, you may not have enough money, but it's a guess.
the thing is, we've got 8 years.
Right,
The
right,
important thing in this study, in my estimation, is the useful life estimate.
right.
I believe that because they do this for thousands of communities around the country, they have a database of when they look at something and they take all these pictures and they put it into their AI, they come up with useful lives for all these different things. And to me, you got 8 years, and then when we get a little bit closer and we go, oh, you know, we got to do something with this roadway, then you start going out for an RFP, you get your real numbers, and maybe you will have to adjust. But you know you're putting enough money to get everything, I mean, you know.
Yes.
And it's a way to just sort of thumb through and remind yourself, you know, maybe these canals need to be looked at every so often. We've ignored them for 50 years. Well, now we're really putting the money in, and let's keep them. Let's do it right, you know, going forward. It's a reminder.
We also have a contract for South Canal that more or less requires us to
Yes,
maintain that
yeah.
canal. And if we don't, we lose 15% of what the cost would be
Right.
from the other
Progress.
property.
Oh, not sure what happened there.
Someone joined.
Let's pull that. I'm not sure who.
I know, I'm trying to switch. I've got two
I see
pieces of
that.
technology here so that I can
Okay.
download the reserve study and watch the meeting, and so I'm
Oh,
trying to
okay.
switch.
All right,
Um,
Joanne.
what happens to the interest on our investment? Is
It's
in
Joanne.
there?
Yeah.
And we're continuing to roll them over.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we need to mute one of you.
They're both muted.
Okay.
One disconnect.
Okay. Where was I? Yes, it assumes the interest.
On our investments.
Right, right. And I think it's, you know, it's a place to start, and I think we've got everything. I don't know. Next month, of course, we'll vote. This month was more of a, you know, let's talk about it. And during the course of the month, normally I would publish this in the paper, but because of the way the calendar fell this month, what I'm going to do is go ahead and send this out, if the committee agrees, send it out to all of the delegates and alternates. Fausto, is that okay with you?
Yeah. Are you planning on having a town hall meeting? Because that's what we've done in the past.
We did that.
At least one where the people can come in and ask questions.
I guess we could have one.
I mean, only because of past history, that it's something that we've done.
Yeah,
Give the people an opportunity in person to come in and sit down.
I think right before the October, you know, right at the end of September, we'll have one. And, you know, we'll do our best to answer questions. I've been so involved in trying to understand how this, because this is so complicated. I've been shying away from doing town halls only because, you know, I have questions too. So, that we need the committee to understand it so that we can all go out and talk about it.
I think you should have it before the committee meets in September. So this way, if there's anything.
Yeah, because this is
put up,
always the last.
the committee can chew on
Exactly.
whatever information you got, and then.
Yeah.
When we make the October presentation, you had we had an open house, people showed up, the committee worked on it.
Right.
And this is the final draft to show that continuity factor,
Yeah, yeah. So
my opinion.
Sure, no, I agree. I want to make sure everybody has their say, because this is, you know, people, all the rest of what we do is all fun and games, but this is our money. You know, so anybody that has any comment, you know, yes,
Madam Chair,
yes,
it
Paulette.
says that, thank you. There are economic assumptions in here that there'd be an annual inflation rate of 3%. So I'm having a little bit of, I would have a hard time explaining to my board. It says percent funded at 190%. Explain that to me again. I don't quite understand why we would fund something at 190% versus 100%.
Well, that's where it was. At the time that this was published,
Yes.
the algorithm said we had 190% of what we needed to, if we replaced everything on this schedule and
Yes.
continued to put $1 million a year away. 'Cause
Okay.
that's what we were doing.
Right.
So what we're doing now is we are repositioning ourselves so that we will be 100% funded over the next 30 years.
Okay. So the
Not
document,
190.
okay, the document that I have in front of me is not the most recent document then.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, page
Yes.
20 or.
In other words, it shows you,
Don't look at that number.
it shows you
Well, on my-
190% of, as of January. Oh, you know what? That's a typo. That's really January 1st, 2025. Because this 13 million was what the year started at. So when this was done, it reflected, because he did this in January.
Okay.
So it reflected the state of affairs at the time he did the study. So
Okay.
if you see where it says, Option
do.
alternative recommended 2026 funding to achieve 100% funding. It's 628. So that's what we're
What
using,
page,
right in that same,
what
it's on
page are you on?
on page 4.
So,
I'm on page 4.
Right, and there's a gray block up top. And it
Yes.
shows
Yes.
findings and recommendations.
Yes.
And that's where we're getting the 628,000, which would be 100% funded by year 30.
Yes. On page-
Okay.
And then
But
under that,
my document says percent funded 190%.
Mine does too.
on which page?
Third line down.
In the
Third
gray
line
block,
down. The third line down is, yes, at current time, in other words, percent funded, meaning
Right now.
at this moment, we're 90%
Yeah.
funded.
Down is 50.
but that's the recommendation that, the
No,
topic,
The recommendation is the
100.
28,
mhm,
Yeah, the fifth line
Recommended.
funded by year 30.
right?
If you look on page 21, you'll see how it drops and drops and drops.
I think for the residents, they're gonna stop right there unless we include something below that. I
Well-
stopped right there.
Donald?
All right, am I seeing this wrong? At the moment, the study is saying that we are 190% funded.
Right,
Yeah,
But over the next 5 years, through reduced contributions to the reserve, we will get, by 2030, we'll be down to 100%. Does that make sense?
no, 20,
No.
30, no,
No.
20%.
Okay,
But that's not what it says.
okay,
Maybe Chris.
I'm gonna try to fix this here. Figure $15 million to redo the entire road surface of Century Village. And how many millions of dollars to redo the irrigation system?
that's not part of this. We didn't.
No, I know that, but it's something that we have to, just like the roads, we don't need them now. Sooner or later, that's gonna have to be.
But it's not in these numbers,
I understand that,
right?
but $5 million, I forgot the number.
I thought it was 15.
Thought it was 15 million, so.
No,
you're
we don't
looking-
have 15 million.
I don't think so, I don't think it was that high.
No,
5 or
13.
I think it was $5 to $7 million.
you mean in this study?
No. The estimate that we
Yeah,
got,
I can't see, I don't
Okay,
have it.
alright. so you gotta figure that the roads are not figured into this number.
8 million, approximately 8 million of
But that
this
number is
the revenue
five,
million.
the number that's in this thing is $5 million. The last estimate that we got 5-6 years ago was $15 million,
No, this is 8.
or 8 million. It's
All right.
still half of what we got a few years ago.
I
don't-
think the confusion here,
That number's no good, telling you.
I think the confusion here is that the 15 million number was because we were told at the time that the next time we need it, we would need to break down to the shell rock and build up a new road.
Right.
Okay, and that's
exactly.
not what they're
And
recommending.
that's not what they're recommending. They're recommending another mill and overlay, in which case
Right.
the 8 million makes a little more sense.
Right.
Yeah, but that's not accurate either, because if I remember, there was certain parts that when they did the bore samples, there was no underlayment under there.
There is certain
Okay,
places.
can I just
Yeah, yeah.
make this? Do you agree that we've got 8 years left to the road? The road is not gonna happen in the next year or two. I mean, does anybody feel strongly that 8 years is a wrong number? I'm more interested in how many years. Cause if you've got 8 years to figure this out, we'll figure it out. Donald?
This question about the roads has been going on since the beginning of time. And I keep saying the same thing, but 2 things actually. First, I can patch roads from now to the end of time, and they'll be just as strong, just as durable as the original road. In fact, in some cases, better. The question is, what is your taste for looking for patches? Right? I grew up in Queens. The road in front of my building was more patched than road. And then one day the city came and said, today's your week, and ripped the road down, and we had a brand new smooth road.
Right.
So that's a factor, right? Second factor is I can tell you anecdotally that, and Chris could tell you on paper that each year we spend more on repairs,
Exactly.
right? Because
So
we
in
need
8
repairs.
years, that nexus is
There's
gonna,
gonna be a nexus. It's like, when do I buy a new car?
yeah,
When my repair bills versus the cost, eventually you get to that X. And that's the point where you go, all right, enough. I'm throwing good money after bad. But that's gotta be a year by year business decision.
Yeah.
Basically.
and I guess my my thought on this is, we go yearly and say, all right, we're getting close to wanting to figure this out. Let's do an RFP. Let's get the numbers and put them into the study, what we're going to spend. This
study can't be expected to factor in what our varying taste for patches might be,
right.
or how much we're willing to spend on. Howard O'Brien said it about the irrigation system. He says we could just keep fixing leaks
Exactly.
now till the end of time, and it'll never come up to whatever that number was.
Right. And we talked about that. And
Right.
it's like, do we want to put that in? And originally I did want to put it in. And I thought, we're raising the coupon $11. We don't really have any history yet with this study. So I thought, let's see how a year goes and then do a revision with more granularity to it.
Right.
But for the time being, let's try to get into the idea of doing it this way and getting this to work, rather than everyone just guessing and saying, well, I remember and I remember.
This
In a document that works,
This is a good place to start.
Encyclopedia, Century Village.
Yeah.
David, I'm sorry. Anything else
I'm so confused now,
about?
but I understand this, but I think the question is there a way that Chris can explain this or put it in simple words that everybody, all the delegates and alternates can easily understand this? I don't have any problem with the mathematics. I know accounting, but Paulette has a very good question. We just can't say, well, it's going to cost this amount, it's going to cost this amount. Maybe Chris can just word it something that will make it understandable to the delegates when we take this to be voted on.
Of course. And I mean, I can give a brief overview of that now. I mean, basically what they were saying is, according to their study, the way we were doing it, we were on track to overfund by 190% after 30 years. They came in, they said, listen, you don't have to fund the way you're doing. You don't need $1 million a year. You only need this, for at least for next year, 628,000. And that on this schedule over the next 30 years, we will still be funded at 100% for all the projects that we need to do. And then after that 30 years, we reassess and we look at it and we say, okay, well, we did these projects. Where are they now? What do the roads look like now? What do the canals look like now? Because if you go through on the reserve study, every year has a schedule of expenditures for that year. And in a list, like next year, we're slated to spend around $790,000 on expenditures from the reserves to maintain this schedule. And that's all factored in.
Right.
Thank you, Chris.
Chris?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chair, may I?
Yes, please, Paulette.
Thank you. Chris, then would you modify that gray box and maybe make to clarify, to add more clarification? Some of us are auditory, we hear what you say, some of us are visual, and for us visual people, looking at that gray box right now does not provide enough clarification.
I completely understand that. Now, while I can't modify the reserve study, it was not my study that was done. I can provide an explanation that can be that can be attached. If that's what you would like, I can provide a written explanation as far as kind of detailing what I just said.
Right below it.
Okay, sorry.
So,
Paulette?
so the people that authorized, that did this study, they can't correct that gray box? Or,
Well, the gray box doesn't need to be corrected. I think it just needs to be explained better.
Right, exactly.
correct, okay, I agree, well, and that date needs to be changed.
That
Because-
is correct, yes.
So if they're changing that date,
Doesn't that
can they
explain it right there?
modify
No.
that box?
It's confusing.
Okay.
I guess they could add an addendum to it where it said percent funded based on previous funding numbers or something like that, based on current funding schedule, and then
the recommended, the 2026 recommended funding will go from 1 million down to 600,000 and change.
That's something that can certainly be looked into, I believe. I am not a part of the reserve study, unfortunately, so that would have to be taken up with the members of the committee.
Chris, let me suggest this. Ready?
Go ahead.
Okay, Chris, let me suggest this. Write up a small blurb. Shoot it to me and Joanne. We'll get it to the reserve study people and let's see if they'll insert it underneath the gray box.
Okay, perfect. I can do that.
A short explanatory paragraph.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, yeah. Richard?
A suggestion that we make another chart like the ones on page 21 and 22, but it shows the depreciation percentage wise year by year. If we go with 628, 628, 628.
No, it doesn't work that way. This year is 628, next year is another number. But there is
Right.
already a chart that shows that.
Yeah, yes,
I thought it said six.
No,
no, it changes.
it changes from year to year.
Changes every year.
Yeah,
Recommended 20.
yeah, it's on 27. If you look on page 27. Or no, I'm sorry, that's not 21.
Oh, so it does. So
No,
it starts
23. 23. It shows you 2026, 2027, 2028. It goes on for 30 years. Yeah, the chart on page 22 is the risk.
No, I'm
That's a
looking at-
risk of special assessment chart.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. You're trying to avoid a special assessment.
Yeah.
If possible, where it says percent funded, I would take out that 190% out of there and put in parentheses currently fully funded.
Can't do that, Fausto.
This is very
Yeah.
Currently fully funded, currently, right now, we're fully, this is what they're saying, but take that 190% out of there. That is going to screw people up.
He's
Well-
gonna change that. He's gonna do that. I'm sorry.
We'll talk to the reserve study people and see what
Currently, what they're saying, currently, we are fully funded.
we'll get
The
it.
discrepancy is when you see that 190 there, if you remove that 190 and just put currently fully funded, we're not changing their studies, we're not changing
Yeah.
anything. We're just putting in writing and taking that 190 out of the picture.
Donald?
How about this as a compromise? Right now it says reserve fund stream 190%. What if it said instead, reserve fund more than 100% funded?
Yeah, with just the.
But they have to do
symbol.
it, not us.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to, we can't make them.
This.
No.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, I think we can get something that you can present, Colette, to your association, and it'll make sense to them.
But I hear what you guys are saying. You've got to make people understand this.
Yeah,
Yes. And they probably will not go beyond page 1.
yeah, which is.
Because-
yeah.
their eyes will gloss over the following pages.
But they'll zone right in on that 190.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, well,
yeah.
we all did, you know,
Yeah, we all did exactly.
it's lower than it was.
Yes, it was already exactly.
More than that.
You get somebody saying, where's my refund?
Right.
No, let's not go there, please. We are funding our community.
Exactly right.
And we're maintaining things. budget.
How about saying it'll go up by 3% a year?
No,
No,
Joanne,
it doesn't. Excuse me.
can we ask the people who did the study to do this?
That's what Donald, I want to have Chris participate. Chris is gonna,
Exactly right.
because Chris has to live and breathe these things. I mean, the
Right.
nitty gritty of it is what Chris has to deal with. So, you know, and he is by far more qualified than any of us to summarize what all this is saying. So.
Correct.
All great
And-
ideas, let the professionals handle it.
We'll have Chris.
I
Chris-
agree with David. I agree with David. Let him write the blurb, give it to Donald and you, Joanne, and you put in there what you think is best.
Okay,
If they see
thank you.
fit, they'll put it in.
No, we'll have it polished up. They're very good about doing that stuff. so,
I'm
know.
sure they are. It's a very extensive report
Yeah.
and, you know, overall very easy to understand, and I appreciate the thoroughness involved.
It was a lot.
Yeah,
And you know, I'm really happy we did it. I think that, you know, this committee needs to be applauded for taking this step. Because in the past, there's just never been anything this complete.
Right.
Everyone was doing a great job, obviously doing a wonderful job, because we have more. But I think going forward, this just makes sense.
Can I ask a
Yes,
question
Joanne.
about minimum funding required to maintain reserves above zero through year 30, 215,
What page you?
Where are you?
number 4, that box?
That same box?
Yeah, the same
Okay,
box.
yeah.
What does that mean? Minimum?
If you read, Tony was pointing out, you really have to read down into,
Oh, okay.
You have to read.
you know, the
Minimum funding, okay,
verbiage.
got it.
Yeah, they
Alright.
do explain everything very
Okay,
thoroughly
All right, great.
about how they came up with all this.
yes.
But it is a lot. I mean, this is not easy reading. This is.
I can explain that a little bit better as well.
Okay, go ahead, Chris.
So that the minimum 2026 funding required to maintain reserves, that's
Wait.
above zero. We
Okay,
have to
so-
fund at least $215,000 just to maintain the amount above $0 in the account.
Mm,
So if we funded $214, we would be essentially negative in the reserve account. So that's why we fund so much more. So because we don't want to ever get close to zero.
Yeah,
Yeah, we want to always make sure that we
That makes
maintain
sense.
a fair amount of capital.
yeah. Richard?
What she was talking about, that's the alternative. If you look at that chart on page 22, it says that also incurs a high risk of.
High risk of special assessments, yes.
Correct.
And that's what we want. We don't want so much that, you know, it's excessive, but we want a very minor risk of special assessment,
Well,
so.
Got it.
Donald,
Our X should always be in that blue box.
yeah,
It's just a matter how down to the bottom of the box you want to be,
right,
Right.
right?
yeah,
Yep,
that's right.
yep.
You know, I'm saying do the 100% for this year and let's see how it goes going forward. All right, so we'll go ahead and get this out to the well, it's a place to start. I'll get it out to the delegate and alternate for each association, because we would have put it in the paper. And then we'll pick a date for a workshop, and we'll do a workshop at the clubhouse. I'll go up and get that scheduled this, tomorrow.
I think you should work on trying to get that little thing straightened out before it goes out to anybody. I mean,
Yeah, we just.
that's gonna.
Well, I was only gonna send the budget. I
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
gonna send
budget,
the
yeah, yeah.
study, no.
Okay, yeah.
This study, maybe I'm off base here, but I feel that this study, not that it's secret or anything,
No,
but I don't think that it's had a wide distribution to everybody
No.
everywhere. I think anyone that wants to, we could certainly give it to them, talk to them about it, but to send 8,000 copies of it out is insane.
The budget, I have no problem.
But the budget is what I said, normally in the September issue of the paper, we put the proposed budget. And we couldn't do that this year. So I want to make sure that, well in advance of the October meeting. Because I'm going to put it with the September delegate assembly package will have it. But I want it published out there.
Joanne, when you work on a date for the workshop, watch the week you're doing it because there are a lot of our meetings there that may conflict.
Oh, well, I'll use our schedule to go by. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I want to do it right before we do
Yeah.
our next finance
Okay,
meeting,
yeah,
which is
right.
always the first of the week,
Right.
So you're gonna send, I just want to be clear for the.
Yes.
You're sending the budget to the delegate.
Delegate
And
and
alternates.
alternates.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's gonna cost a couple of dollars, on MailChimp, because we're making a separate audience. It's not going out to Mike Diamond and,
Mhm.
And then are you going to invite them at this point to come to this, or that there will be a scheduled workshop at blah, 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 blah date?
yes,
Okay.
we will have it, by the time we send it out, we'll have a date for the workshop and we'll ask anyone who wants to attend, we'll publish that. Donald's weekly report on
Yeah.
TV, on the
Okay.
blog,
Okay, I got it. Yeah, just so that it's.
in that way. We'll be able to finalize it so that it's makes sense, but as far as publishing the study itself, I wouldn't do that.
I don't think that was ever envisioned with.
No,
This is.
this is, yeah.
This study is a tool that is provided to the committee to help you guys put together a budget.
Right,
You want to come look in the toolbox, just ask.
right. Yeah, like anything else. I mean, it's just, this is the way for us to come up with, a basis for a budget. Just my way,
We
John?
let the delegates and the alternates know that the study is available when we send the budget out to them. It is available for them to come in and read it or ask questions.
Maybe you could tell them at the workshop rather than.
Yeah, I would rather do it in
Just
person.
tell them.
Yeah.
I know from my report, when I say something is available,
Mhm.
you want to see it. Yeah, there will be no end, because it's so easy to go, yeah, I want to see it. And it's to naught, because I send it and I know where it's not even going to be read by the person.
Yeah,
What they want to do is to see if I'll actually send it.
yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna do it, but I know that's what happens.
yeah. So,
I'm gonna, Madam Chair,
yes, call it.
I'll tell you, I'm gonna use it at my association meeting because I think it's a good tool to show them the value of having a reserve study done.
Uh-huh,
Because I'm getting resistance from my members to invest the money in having one done, even though we are only 2 stories. But it's a good roadmap so that you don't end up with special assessments down the road.
yeah, no, it's true, it's true. But then your understanding of these things is unique as a board member because of your background. So every single association is not quite as astute with understanding these kinds of things. So it could just create bedlam. So-
Yes, I don't disagree.
I think you know that.
Just to demonstrate how this particular type of tool can be used or not used, I'll give you an example. I had this very company come in and do a reserve study for a 42-unit condominium. It was completed last year. First capital project that came up was roofs. You guys have to do roofs next year, no questions asked. I just finished the meeting. Are we gonna do the roofs next year? Well, and it went on and on. And the ultimate decision was, we're gonna wait a year. We're gonna look to see what the market is doing, and you don't, and guys, it's your house, it's your.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
but,
And then people would be arguing.
this
I
isn't
mean,
like Mal's 4-year plan where you have to stick to it or.
no, yeah,
It's
no,
like-
you want to be kind of you want to legislate this a little bit.
Yep,
because you could have, one group of associations coming in and saying, well, we want this done right now. Why hasn't that fence been, done? It's
Absolutely.
been 4 years. I haven't seen a new one yet,
And the 4-year plan says we were supposed to do it.
Right.
Why haven't you?
Yeah, this is an encyclopedia. It's not a Bible.
Right.
Anything else? Anything, any old business other than this? old business?
One question on the social events, which is our installation of new officers and volunteer luncheon. I know that we're putting $8,000 in the budget. You think that's enough?
I
don't know, I'm asking,
because
because expenses are higher than they are. I mean, this year we were able to negotiate a little bit. I don't know what's gonna happen next year.
So this is
Whatever
based
you-
on historical,
budget.
correct?
This is based, yeah,
historical.
I know that, but
Yeah, I mean, that's why I wanted to get into the nitty gritty of this today.
Yeah.
Because next month, in the course of the month, if there's like that, if you want to up it, just drop me a note, we'll up it,
I just happen to be looking
Yeah.
at it and I see.
Sure. This is the time to do those kinds of.
I mean, this year we were able to negotiate both events. And we did such a good job at the clubhouse this year by bringing in that outside vendor that worked with us.
Yeah,
Next year, I don't know if that's going to happen, so.
John?
Kind of new to all this. So if we add to one, I mean, we can all add to a line that we see fit, bring to your attention, and we keep adding. So if we add to one, can we take away from another?
We could do anything we want until we go into delegate assembly in October. You are the committee
No, I know.
who is charged by the bylaws to do this. Take away, add, Donald?
And John, just as you can take out of one line, add to another line as this committee sees fit, you're also gonna bring this to the delegate assembly, who now has line item veto.
Right.
They can eliminate lines. I believe that's all they can do is.
That's
Eliminate.
all they can do.
They can't add, they can only.
We adjust.
Right.
This committee can adjust, like Fausto said, that one line item needs an adjustment. You don't do that at the delegate assembly. We either have it or we don't.
Right.
But
They can kill whole lines.
Oh, yeah.
I don't believe they can reduce lines.
No, they
don't.
can't. Absolutely. That's spelled out very clearly.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't change the amount.
Otherwise, it would
All they can do
never
is
end.
eliminate.
No, this
So once
committee.
they get a copy of this budget, the delegates at the assembly could just say,
Line item,
we want,
what,
social events taken up.
Last year, John, you were there last year
it,
for AMR.
for AMR.
Oh, yeah.
AMR.
Yeah.
Someone got up and said, I wanted to leave AMR. We voted on it. It just happened that it stayed in. Had they voted it down, it would have been eliminated,
Gotcha.
All
All right, thank you.
Speaking of AMR, I was just thinking
yeah.
about that event. There's a very good possibility that what's in our budget, but that service may not be available to us next year. And we won't know until November when they're voting, but we have to put it in the budget
Because we don't know.
because we don't know.
Yeah.
So
And I don't think you're gonna even hear about anything in November. They're not even close.
I don't.
So I can't, I'd love to take it out of the.
No, I know, but
I just, in good conscience, I have to,
I'd rather leave it in the budget and then when they notify us that we can't do this anymore,
It's out.
it's extra money in the budget that we don't have to spend if we don't.
right.
So,
No, it's like anything else. If it happens, it happens.
I would suggest that under we go from $8,000 to $10,000 in the budget. Just
Okay.
to be on the safe side. My thought.
Chris, you want to go ahead and make that a note?
Yes, of course.
I mean, it's not a big change, but I think that would cover us. And I think the volunteer luncheon is something that people look forward to.
Sure.
It's a way of saying thank you
How many
to
people?
all the volunteers, huh?
How many people do we have on Zoom?
About
As many as we invited.
I think we
invited over
invited 100, I think about 80 showed up.
118 and 80 showed up.
Yeah. something
So
like that.
social events, sorry to interrupt. Social events is going from 8 to
10.
10.
10. Okay.
Want to just make a note, Tony, for the minutes? Yeah. Anything else? Any, aside from budget and reserve, any new business that anyone needs to have the committee talk about?
Want to talk about the aging report?
Well, Donald, that's your bailiwick. I have to applaud Donald.
I wasn't looking for applause, but
What did we start? Chris, I think it was 236,000 was the AR over 90 when I became treasurer. I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know why, but 236 for some reason sticks in my head. It is now almost nothing. I think it's 13,000.
yeah, everybody paid their bills.
And we sent out, Donald had me sign off on sending member letters to every person in the associations that were in arrears. And we got dozens and dozens of phone calls. And, that really had a great effect. Those associations, so we are really all cleared up.
The real reason I'm bringing this up is in this effort over the last month or so, Joanne and I have discovered trends. Why aren't some associations not keeping up with the bills? What we're finding, the associations in many cases are not funding contingencies into their budgets.
Yeah.
For instance, I said this to a president this week. You have 18 units, you're one of them. In the next year, here in Century Village, if you don't think one of your neighbors or yourself is either gonna get into some kind of financial difficulty, possibly medical, pass away and go into probate or go into the iron lung, you're not being realistic.
Yeah.
What's happening is when one or two of their unit owners don't pay, they don't have money to cover the shortfall. So they're way too close to the bone. So I spoke.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Bad debt.
There needs to be a bad deadline. I spoke to Seacrest managers this morning and we're gonna make an effort to get that out there. You guys gotta page your budgets out a little better. To have money, because
Mhm.
bills have to be paid.
Right.
It's that simple. So, yeah, so is that.
But I'm really pleased. There's just two associations and we are absolutely aware of what's going on in both situations. And we're on top of it.
Yep.
It's not like, we're writing anything off. We did not have to write one penny off. Everything is being collected, which I'm astonished. And, from my bookkeeping days, I have never had an accounts receivable in the millions of dollars. I mean, operating fund, millions of dollars that had no write-off. You don't know in business, that is.
Right, you factor that in. Sure.
That, I've never seen it. I've never seen no write-off. We have no write-off.
What we're working towards is we shouldn't have to do this work. We need
Yeah.
to change a little here so that the associations never have to, and most times when they were behind, they were like, they didn't even know they were behind. Why are we behind?
Yeah.
With reasons. And
Yeah, it's really amazing. People just really got after their associations.
so we have to help them about it, to revise them.
Yeah.
Seacrest particularly is gonna make an effort on this.
I think as a management organization, that's the reason we exist. It's to help the organizations do the right thing in a lot of areas, and paying their bills is one of those areas.
Yep.
I mean, so I'm really happy that
Me too.
I've just never seen it. It's my nerdy bookkeeper self, Because at the end of the year, you always write something off, there's nothing to write off. So having said all of that, anything else?
Somebody that doesn't know how to read.
Then I will look forward to getting this polished up and all the suggestions of the community and everything done today was fantastic. I really appreciate everyone's input.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Richard?
Thank you.
Thanks, Paulette. We're on.
Bye, Chris.
Bye, Ruth.
we're gonna go ahead and adjourn. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, be
Have a
well.
great day.
Bye-bye.
You too, Paulette. Put that back, we didn't